In this video, we're going to talk about how some folks may not ever respond to cholinergic nootropics, right? And they might just be better suited for dopaminergics. Coming up. Okay, a minute and a half of powerful nootropic product promotion coming up. First, our most powerful product, our most popular product, probably most powerful and most popular, as the Cortex Nootropic Stack. All you really need to know is I basically found after 6.5 years of taking nootropics that I could combine uridine monophosphate, super nootropic, CDP choline, and artichoke extract in very particular quantities and basically reach a modafinil-like state. I was using it for quite some time to build a company. I then refined it, had a giant beta testing program of somewhere around 75 nootropics users, and then we formulated a pre-made stack. It's called Cortex. It is very powerful, being called the only pre-made stack that works. It's strong, it lasts long, it's powerful. Then we wrote 2 digital guides. These are instructional guides on nootropics. They give you stacks, they give you instructions, they give you directions, they give you distinctions, they answer questions like, cycling. Should you cycle modafinil? How should you cycle modafinil? How should you take phenibut? All these different things. One of them is on strictly racetams. It's called the Racetam Guide. When you read it, these are digital guides. You'll leave knowing everything you need to know about racetams and how to benefit from them, plus 80 plus racetam stacks. And then we wrote a guide called Smarter, Better, Faster. That's an all-encompassing, my view on how to surgically use nootropics. The tagline's actually a surgical guide to using nootropics for total mental dominance. It is very powerful. Lots of stacks, lots of distinctions. My stacks after 8.5 years. A lot of instructions on nootropics. They're both digital, so you can download them and read them. And by the way, we're coming up with an audio version of both of them. That's going to be a while, for months out, but I just wanted to drop that piece of information on folks. Lastly, we do stack consulting. If you need your stack refined, folks hit me up. They're like, I'm taking phenylpiracetam and I added some tyrosine. I got a choline source, but something's not right. I've seen it 1,000 times. I can tell you what's not right, what to take down in dose quantity. And look, a perfect stack goes a long way. Folks have been trying to refine their stack, figure it out. They just need the right piece of advice, the right 8.5 years of experience, the right guidance, and then perfectly formed. Get that at livecortex.com. All that stuff, get it at livecortex.com. Hopefully that was under 2 minutes or a minute and a half. I'm trying, man. I'm trying to refine it. Okay, so look, let me just make the opening statement and say that, one of the things we do in consulting folks, and just even people just emailing me a question here, question there, is we try to make compounds work for them. Because sometimes you might take a nootropic compound or a stack or whatever, and it might not work the way that you want it to, or the way that other people, it worked for them. And you're like, what the heck's going on? Why isn't this thing working for me, right? And there are many reasons, for a lot of people, for whatever reason, they're going to need to take B vitamins with basically everything, particularly cholinergics. So you need B vitamins to synthesize neurotransmitters that the cholinergics might be working on, like B5 and acetylcholine. And if you're trying to upregulate neurogenesis with something like DHA and CDP choline or something in uridine, some people are going to just do better taking B vitamins, B9, because folic acid works with uridine to do that. And so there's all these distinctions I've learned over time that we use to try to help people to get better performance from stacks. But there is one thing that is overarching that does rear its head. That seems to be the case with some people relating to cholinergics, Nupep, CDP choline, alpha-GPC, most of the racetams, centrophenoxine, DMAE, other cholinergics, acetylcholine esterase inhibitors, that no matter what they do, they just don't respond well to them. They either get brain fog or it doesn't work the way that it's supposed to. They get a little tired or something. A lot of that can be fixed by lowering the dose. Examine.com is putting stuff out where take 500 milligrams of alpha-GPC or 1,000 or whatever. A lot of that's for people that are 55 years old and have cognitive problems. Okay, not a 27-year-old college kid or a 25-year-old college kid that wants brain performance. So lowering the dose is going to help a lot of people get better effects, and then optimizing their baseline, and then lowering the dose of nootropics using that synergistically. But for some people, it's a small subset. But for some folks, cholinergics are just not going to be the nootropics for them. There's this theory of cholinergic dominance, largely, I think, popularized by a guy named Stephen Fowkes, who's a infamous nootropics guy. I think he's just done some podcasts with Asprey from Bulletproof, the guy that invented bulletproof coffee, takes racetams, nootropics, modafinil, etc., where they talk about this notion of cholinergic dominance. Basically, it's folks that, for one reason or another, genetic or otherwise, they've got enough acetylcholine floating around their brain, and frankly, they're making a whole lot of it. It's really super optimized. They never had to take nootropics to get it that way. They just have good optimized cholinergic system. Like, I'm that way, I think, inherently. But I still respond well to cholinergics, but really, I got to take the lower doses of the stuff. Alpha GPC in higher doses gives me brain fog. The right dose, perfect, okay? And for those people, though, they may not ever respond positively to cholinergics. This is a small subset, they just won't. And for those people, dopaminergics are going to be the way, okay? So L-tyrosine, phenylalanine, L-dopa, these sorts of things. Phenylpiracetam to some extent, because there is some suspicion that it might be mild dopamine reuptake inhibitor. But then looking at compounds like modafinil, that's the thing. If you can't get cholinergics to work well for you, you probably want to shoot for phenylalanine, tyrosine, L-dopa, modafinil. Perhaps bromontane. If you really want to take it to some hardcore level, maybe some bromontane and other dopaminergic nootropics. This is really going to work better for you. Theacrine would be another one that mildly, through adenosine signaling, works on dopamine, kind of like caffeine does. And so those just might be better for you. Us consulting folks, and look, probably 2,000, 3,000 people, like, over the course of the last 8.5 years I've talked to about this, probably more, but who knows? And look, we do see, I do see people that just don't respond well to cholinergics, and maybe there's some more things we could do to get them to do it, but we've exhausted the list of normal stuff we've run through. And then the moment they start taking dopaminergics, and the moment they get some phenylalanine, like with low dose Alcar, and some vinpocetine in their stack, it's like, boom, they start responding, their brains are functioning awesomely, they're like, I haven't felt this way in 20 years, and that was it, man. They needed infusions of dopamine. They needed modifications of dopamine receptors. Like in the case of uridine. We get a lot of these folks that don't respond well to cholinergics taking uridine, and it's like, forget it. They're on now it works. Uridine is partially cholinergic, but it's optimizing dopamine receptors as well. Modafinil particularly, and tyrosine and phenylalanine. Tyrosine and phenylalanine are both precursors to dopamine. Tyrosine will also build epinephrine and norepinephrine. These are alertness-based neurotransmitters. And when I get some of these people that have been taking cholinergics and they can't get it right, and we've really tried to optimize, the consulting clients, we really tried to optimize, why it's not happening, get them taking B vitamins, get them taking calcium, magnesium, zinc, get them doing cardio, and they still can't make it work. That's my cue. Okay, they're probably cholinergically dominant. They're probably going to respond much better to dopaminergics. We get them on it, dopamine modulating nootropic compounds, and it's like, boom, like the tide has shifted. Finally, they're getting a response, and they're like, I can't thank you enough. Finally, my brain's working in nootropics. It's exciting to people, right? They're like, wow, this whole nootropic sphere, I'm trying all these different compounds, and I really can't get the result everyone else is getting. Why not? They just require dopaminergics, whether it's modafinil or tyrosine or phenylalanine or bromontane or one of these other dopaminergic nootropic compounds, theacrine mildly, then they're off. Okay, so I just want to finish in saying, yeah, you might be one of those people if you're not responding well to cholinergics. There's many things you can do to respond to cholinergics. We break that down in Smarter, Better, Faster, particularly. Like if you're not responding to certain nootropics or if they're not working well, we've got like a list of why and how to fix. It goes, here's why and then how to fix. That's Smarter, Better, Faster. Part of Smarter, Better, Faster. But some folks, look, you're just going to do better with dopamine-related nootropics, and you just got to deal with it. Who cares? Dopamine stuff is awesome. Modafinil is great. Tyrosine's great. Phenylalanine's great. Theacrine's great. A lot of these other dopaminergics are totally awesome. Thanks for watching.